One.
All right, good evening. We're here at Truth Baptist Church Bible study. We invite those who are joining us, those who are in the virtual space. I thank God for each and every last one of you. I want to give honor to God who's ahead of our lives. Give honor to the Truth Baptist leaders, all of your families. And thank you for all you continue to do. Give honor to my beautiful bride in her absence as she does the training. All of you guys, great people. Thank God for you. We're going to continue our study in Philippians chapter 2. We're looking at verses 7 through 10. Looking at verses 7 through 10. We'll start out there. If you want to go further, we'll read a little more. So we'll have two volunteers that can read for us. Somebody do 7 and 8, and somebody do 9 and 10. And after we finish reading, we'll go ahead and jump back in. We come out of prayer, so we will continue to continue our study.
Chapter 2, verse 7 says, "Instead, he emptied himself by assuming the form of a servant, taking on the likeness of humanity. And when he had come as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even to the death on the cross."
Therefore, God exalted him to the highest place, gave him a name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father.
God words bless is up to us to obey. We're listening to or reading and talking about Paul's work, but we know we want to do a little review of the context. He is in Roman house arrest. He's writing to the church he established. They established the church in Acts chapter 16. He shouldn't have been in prison that time. He shouldn't be even on house arrest now. But he is still encouraging Christians. And this is a very hopeful book. We know the book is full of joy, but there are some challenges or some warnings that Paul is giving throughout the chapter. We talked about how in the end of chapter 1, he was really stressing fruitfulness. Then starting in chapter 2, he wanted people to work with people better. He wanted those Christians to look out for the interests of others. Don't overlook your interests, but also look out for the interests of others. He was talking about all those things, and he was encouraging them, even as you look out for your interests, look out for the interests of others. He was encouraging them also. You know what? Sometimes there's going to be some tough moments, some things you don't understand, some things you don't agree with, and even with those times, you still got to be fruitful. And then he gave some examples. He talked about himself. He encouraged them. They're doing well. But again, he pointed to, right now where we are, he pointed to the best example ever. There is no better example than Jesus Christ. But he's talking about that the act or acts that Jesus Christ did to truly seal the deal on our redemption and our salvation. So right now he is hitting this very hard right now. So right now we're in a part like we talked about this point, model the mind of the Messiah. That's what we're talking about right now. All right. There are a lot of good examples that some of us know. Some of us are those examples. The people who are very committed and consistent and diligent, even in the things of God, they tend to always end up being the example. But none of us compare to the model of the Messiah. That's a good thing, and it's a good model for us. So we want to continue to discuss the depth and the breadth of his death. That's what we're talking about. And Paul, he brought us to this point, and we really want to drill down onto this. Last time we were talking about how he did not change anything about his deity. He added humanity to his deity. There are some things that he could have done, and even with this death that we're in, he had to really allow that. So we talked a little bit about that. So let's continue to talk about him so we can model this mind. And this difficulty that we're talking about in his death is not to just, sometimes when you talk about a topic, you just get engulfed. Oh man, that's real detailed, but you don't connect to it. You think it's just something out there, right? But we don't want to just look at Jesus's death or his life, his death and his resurrection. Is not an experiment. It is not just what in the business world. It's not a case study. This happened for real, and if it didn't happen, woe would be all of us. So as we jump into this, let's continue to walk through this. Now we talked a little bit about how he stayed there. He on that Friday, he suffered all of that stuff. It started Thursday night. And he, trial after trial, spit, slap, beat, all this stuff. And it culminates in him giving up the ghost. And if he didn't do it, allow me to exaggerate. He could have still been hanging on that cross right now if he didn't do it. That's the power. He had to allow that to happen. We understand, physically speaking, no normal human could have lasted. And yes, he was 100% man, but he was 100% God. That is an example of how he allowed death to occur for us. But the beauty of it is, he allowed it for those 3 days. Death could have did whatever death wanted to do. There is no way that death could keep him past Sunday. Whatever time, nobody knows the time. Whatever time early Sunday morning that he decided it was over, that was it. There was no negotiation. There was no struggle. Death could not hold him. And I tell you, and that's all of us, most of us, human, worldwide, most of us have to transition through death. Some of us will be translated. And how that happens, we don't control it. God controls it. But him being God, he said, I'm doing this for this amount of time. This is it. I have met every requirement. It's not for me. I've met every requirement for every human. Every sin they committed, past, present, and future. Saints, let's look at it another way. Death could not, we're talking 3 days. Death could not have him a moment if he didn't give his life. I know we don't need to stay there too long, but we got to consider it was established that he would do that for us. He still had to do it. Deacon Spencer, we had a conversation earlier today. What if Jesus back off like people do? What if Jesus said, I ain't doing it? What if Jesus, anybody thank God that Jesus stayed with it? No matter how difficult it was. I have, like many of, I think maybe all of us, I know, this playful, fun families, I have, fond memories of, wrestling with my son, especially with, when they're bigger, they gonna try, they gonna do whatever. But when they're small, and they're having a good time, and then you let them win, I think most of us, some of us, like no, they gotta learn how to lose. but you let him win. Listen, I want to. I don't know who they're pointing at, but you let him win. But here it is. Here it is. He let death win for a little while, but he could not let them after those 3 days. We know people debate the timing. Again, bottom line, they can figure out. You can have that debate by 3 days. All right, it is clear that he was risen on Sunday morning. So again, they can talk of all they want about those 3 days. Saints, he let them. He did that for me and for you and I, and as, like I say sometimes, as you and I. He did it for us and as us. There is no reason he should have dealt any of those penalties, because he did nothing. So now, yeah, like I just said it, and you caught me. Yeah, I'm deep into it. But I want us to understand that, because we got to understand the model of his mind cannot be taken away from the excruciating pain that he dealt with. And some stuff we will never understand, because we're not 100% God and 100% man. So yeah, I know I'm deep into it, but we got that model of the mind. We got to. He went through that. He did. Look at the next part of the verse. Death on a cross. That's enough. I mean, that statement right there, that gets real. Dude, I mean, we talk about it every Sunday. Songs talk about it, and all this kind of stuff. Saints, even the type of death was a curse. Deuteronomy 21 and 23, Galatians 3 and 13, Old Testament and New Testament. The type of death was a curse. I didn't do nothing wrong, Sister Spencer. If I gotta die, why do I have to die like that? Let's look at what he went. What's the point? Roman citizens couldn't even die that way. It was a Roman punishment, but a Roman citizen, it was against the law for a Roman citizen to be crucified.
It was a form of humiliation.
Oh, absolutely. For sure.
But they didn't want to humiliate their own.
I know.
That's the reason why.
I know. You got it. And I want us to juxtapose that. That's why you're exactly right. That's why I emphasize. We got to look at it. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. Is it better to be a Roman citizen or a citizen of Christ or a citizen of the kingdom? He's the best citizen of the kingdom, right? But he had to take that form of death. Saints, so Philippi, they were under Roman rule. So when Paul wrote this, that would hit them different. See, even us, we understand it because we understand. You heard it, you studied, so you read, and you heard it before. You studied, I commend you all. You hear, you continue to study and stuff like that. For them, I thought Romans can't be crucified, but he had to. Again, it hit them different. And again, it may not be. We can't see it or experience through their eyes, but that is something to consider. That's what Paul was doing, right? And the same thing when we help others, right? When we, you know how to paint a picture to the people you know. Well, let me say it this way, right? So Paul, that he was stressed to that he was stressing that piece. Just like you talked about, you said humility. That's one of my words. Slow death. Listen. Now I would suggest that because of who he was, they went too far. They beat him let me state my case. Y'all see where I'm going? See, the other thieves, nobody else had to carry their cross. They beat Jesus so bad they had to make somebody else carry. They went too far. That was supposed to be part of the pain. He was supposed to carry his own cross, or it's the cross beam, no matter how it's heavy. He was supposed to carry that himself. I think they went too far. Just talking about that pain, public. They said old preacher said he gambled for his garments. They casted lots for his garments. They stripped. They beat him. They stripped him. Very humiliating. So all of this pain that he dealt with. Again, we want to look at it. We look at it in his mind, right? He's doing all this. He is not psyched out. Y'all not listening to me. He's doing all this. He is fully aware while it's going on, and he knew that it was going to happen. And he is not like us. Oh, I heard that before. I know what to expect. I watched a video about the gas check. Well, back in the day, they ain't had no videos, but some people are like, well, I know what they. Right now, they can see whatever they want. They can learn. We can try to learn some things. He ain't had to try nothing. He know the stuff that there's some stuff in the scripture that we may not fully understand it. And there's some stuff that wasn't probably recorded. He knew that was going to happen, and he experienced all of it. So think about his mind as he went through all this. And now watch this. So you have the physical things, and he had to submit to the death, and like we already talked about, for all of the sin for all of us, all past, present, and future, and we will never understand. We will never understand what it means to have all power and to give your own life. If I get executed, I can say what I want. Oh, I don't want it to happen. I can pray all I want. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. He could have stopped any point at any point. Had all power and fully submit. Let's say just really. I know again we pushing it, but let's build this model. Saints, we cannot do that. They're martyrs. Excellent job. Talk about Stephen. Stephen would seem close, not the same as what Jesus went through. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever type of humility, so what's the point? Whatever type of humility needed according to his purpose or for his glory or for his will, right? Anytime, anywhere, can we do it? Will we do it? So now, and I know we talked about it. I mean, there's more we could have talked about, and you're like, man, we get it, brother. We get it, Pastor. The question is, the stuff that we have to go through. It may not be the same, but sometimes it's persecution, or sometimes it's just friction. It's just things we got to deal with, right? And we say enough is enough. Thank God Jesus didn't say enough was enough. And it's not an excuse for people who know better. If we know what real suffering is, why would we act in, I'm just being emphatic, I'm not saying you're doing this, but if we know what suffering is, why do we want to be a part of another Christian's suffering? Family or no family? Church family or no church family? I know them enough. Why do we want to be a part of that, right? So that question I asked, why can't we deal with it? that ain't just a cool question. That ain't just a challenging question. This is his expectation to get more people to heaven. Who's to say that time when we say, you know what, I can't do this, and somebody got wind of it, and that person, they've been watching you, they've been watching us, and they see that little piece, and for that moment they're like, well, yeah, I can't, they're just like everybody else. Again, just really painting just looking at different angles, saints. Just it is possible we don't look at those answers. So his expectation. That's why we're here. Listen, we've been doing it together. You're the faithful crew. I commend you all. We've been walking through this together, right? And this is the beauty of going straight through a book. We've been walking through this, right? Paul is not all over the place. He has a logical, he has a methodical, he has a impactful argument. Boom. He talked about all of this stuff he went through. He talked about some things they went through, right? Be fruitful, interact with others, right? It's going to be tough sometimes. You got to do this, and if he had nothing else to say on a human level, let's look at Jesus, like I mentioned before. So Jesus went through it. Stephen went through it. And these others don't compare to Jesus, but for humans, Jeremiah went through it. Nehemiah went through it. Naomi and Ruth went through it. Mary watched probably more than any other human. Y'all not listening to me. His mama watched as much as she could, and she probably saw more than any other human what her son went through. His father saw it. His heavenly father saw it and knew it like he did. So again, look, all of this stuff is stuff. So Paul, again, excellent job, Deacon McLaurin. Paul put people through it. He's going a little bit through it. Y'all saw a second, he been shipwrecked, he been stoned, he been whipped. He went through it a little bit, and then he will go through it. He will go through it. He will be martyred. He will be executed, right? So saying similar question, but let's push it harder. Who told us we can take suffering off the table? Why people preaching this whole, you do this and no more trouble and your life is going to be, and I am not saying, because Paul talks about the people who want that aestheticism, right? They want to just they don't want to enjoy anything. It's not that either, right? But my point right now is people try to say that your life, you're never going to have a rough day. Everything is going to be swell and hunky dory and all this stuff, and you're married perfect, no disagreements, all this stuff. Ministry, business, everything is on the up and up, no issues. Who said that? It's not that we should want it, but when it comes, anybody ever jump the hurdles? Anybody ever did track the hurdles? You jump fences? Oh, that's close. So you're training for it. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. So if you're trained on the hurdles, man, boom. It ain't. I mean, you the timing. You're training, so they don't really. Now, somebody who's just running, they'll beat you. But the people who run, if you're training, you're gonna jump every hurdle. You're gonna keep on moving. If you're not training, you're gonna be like me, like Silas. You're gonna stop. You're gonna be like trying to jump. You're gonna try to climb. You don't know. Listen, saints, what kind of Christians are we? So when we get to an obstacle, are we trying to crawl? Are we trying to crawl under like it's some kind of limbo? What kind of Christians are we? Are we hitting it? Are we looking at it like walking around it being disqualified? Listen, as a Christian, again, we gotta hit them hurdles, those obstacles. We gotta move. I'm not talking about rushing. It's just the imagery, right? So an obstacle is going to be what it is. But there is a way, as a Christian, we gotta move through it like we got some Christian sense. That's what it's about, saints. We gotta do this right. Again, I know the imagery sounds like, well, that ain't gonna slow me down. No, some things, a couple of Sundays ago, that slowed me down. Still waiting on an answer, right? But did it shut me down, right? It may literally be able to slow you down. I know the imagery of track, I'm just trying to juxtapose. I know you all get it, but I'm just stressing it that way. But again, we got to work it, right? Same thing in family. Same thing in family, right? If we love one another, if we are a Christian couple, every argument got to be World War III. A disagreement got to be threats. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just pushing it. Again, saints, I talk about real things, right? Right? Parent-child relationships. Okay. Listen, there's something. If I'm a Christian, I got to be able. There's things we got to move better through. Anybody, if y'all don't stop me, y'all can. If you have a point.
I was reading, you said parent-child relationship. I was reading an article today. There was a man, he's getting ready to be executed. Right? And they asked him, what did he want for his last request? He asked them for a pen and paper. Right? He wanted to write a letter. He wrote this letter to his mother. Right? And the letter was basically saying, Mom, when I stole a kid's bicycle, you hid it for me from my father, so he wouldn't know. Mom, when I stole money, or when I stole someone's wallet, you went with me to the mall to help me spend it. And then he said, Mom, when my dad tried to correct me, you got into an argument to the point where you told him to get out. And at that last sentence, he said, Mom, I love you. But he also said, we should be sharing this execution. What he was saying was that his mom condoned everything that he did and tried to hide it. So guess what? Do we do that, son?
Yeah.
We do.
We do, and it's a common issue. That happened for real.
Yes, it's real.
The only thing I would add, how old was he?
He's 50-something years old.
Yeah, you should have had that conversation a long time ago.
You let your past find your present.
You should have had that. But I like what I like about the realism. That's a real issue. And when it comes to leadership, when it comes to order, when it comes to work ethic, when it comes to unity, when it comes to all of the things, all of the major things we do in life, it starts at the house. It starts at now. Some people, they get it, they learn it, and they push against it, and they do it another way. But some people, it's probably most people. A lot of people is just like that. Even though that's a very eye-opening example, but it's the same thing, and it ain't always a model. It's sometimes it's both sides. It's both sides. It can be dad doing the same thing. Again, that's setting a very bad example for children, and that same thing spiritually.
But his last words were, I love you. Even though he knew that, he knew where his mom was going all these years. He's saying from the time I was a child, young child, up until I was able to do stuff and make decisions as an adult, you still here and know.
I know it's that part I mentioned. I already mentioned it, so I won't come back to that. But the real, it is a very big problem, and to think that same stuff goes in the workplace. Well, I'm good with this person. I'm trying to work it. So this person got me. So I'm trying to again, it's learned behavior and allowed behavior. Now everybody don't now. I see it miles away. I don't like. Stuff like that. I'm like, come on, what are we doing here? Yes, ma'am.
I don't know, I guess I feel differently. I understand she let him get away with things, and I understand she did some things to try to protect him as a child. Once you're grown, you can't go back and blame mama or daddy for your mistakes. I'm sorry. You are grown. You accept responsibility for what you did. And if he was on death row, mama didn't have to kill him. I think
He didn't kill anybody.
But why was he on death row?
He was a three-time loser.
And they killed him for that?
Drugs and stuff, yeah. And the thing about it was, she shared his spoils. That's it. She shared. She knew what was going on, and she shared it. When you steal something, when you rob somebody, you take what they have, and as a parent, you think it's okay to go shopping with that individual, celebrate with him, and spend that money. Something wrong.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's okay. But I also think that he should take responsibility for what he did. It wasn't right what she did.
That's what I agree. That's why I address up front. But the real, I think, a more prevalent issue, and it still goes on today, is that first part. I totally agree with what you're saying, but I do. I mean, it is something to consider. And again, it's more than parent. It's other things. Yes, ma'am.
Well, God's word said we're born into sin and shaken in the middle. So, and that's on the opposite. We're born into sin and we're shaken. We could be shaken in that sin, or we could be shaken in what God's called us to be shaken in. He said born in sin, shaken in iniquity, meaning that we are being shaped in His image and doing things in the right way of life. But some people are shaken like us, we can look at ourselves and we adopt some things of what our parents have instilled in us. Some of them, some things. Some people are able to get away from it. So if you don't have, even if your parents don't shape you, and you go through life and you meet other people, you will begin to be shaken by their ways and the way, as life, if you want to be. And some people, now I was thinking about Charlie Manson, because I looked at his stuff, and he was shaping like that young man, but he ended up in like a, what do you call it, foster, and he just kept on, everything that he came across was bad. He was never shapen in what was good. It was always something bad. I don't know. I just think that even if you're in a family with parents that are shaping you in the wrong way, you can still meet people that come into your life that can shape you in the right way. I guess that's what I'm trying to do.
I like it, and matter of fact, that's a good point. So I guess you're leading us to the same point. As unfortunate those situation is, as a person, even a young child, and again, I don't know if they're able to see this or they will, but even as a teenager or a young adult, once you, in fact, it's way before that. Children get it. They do it because they know it. They know it works. Mm-hmm. So children understand it. Now we know they still have to grow and be more mature, but when when God reveals to them what that really is, they have to make the right decision. But like both of you are saying, they have to make the right decision to say, you know what? I'll push it hard like this. Not only that shouldn't have happened. If they can get benefits right now, they should be able to say, no, I can't. No, mom said this or dad said I'm not going to do that. That's how, like you said, that's how it should go. So sometimes there's some things that's in the past, but sometimes you're in there and you get the spoils like Deacon Spencer was talking about. So again, that's another level of maturity. All right, I know it's wrong. Am I going to accept it if it benefits me?
Mm-hmm.
That's not modeling the mind of the Messiah.
That's right.
So we got to understand, and that's why again. So from a leadership perspective, yes, leaders, leaders gonna do what they do, or not. Let me clean it up. Leaders may try to push the right thing, right? But even though that's right, that's what they're supposed to do. But it doesn't really work until everybody pushes the same right thing, right? So you got what? Y'all know that military model, but it works every, the lead, the leader, the led, and the situation, right? Whatever it is, right? So if everybody, we all got to see the same thing, and we straight spiritual, right? Whoever the spiritual leader is, the parent, that's what we're talking about. The parent says this, all right, the child has to be able to see, you know what, this is the right thing, and we all want to push the right thing. Or on either side, if the child is wrong, the parent should be able to call it. If the parent is wrong, sometimes the child is used to respectfully reveal what's going on.
Everything they can, and that child still turn out wrong.
Well, yeah, that's and we understand. We understand that part. But sometimes it's the opposite. The parent does nothing, and the child, you be like, man, is this real? So again, the whole point is when it comes to wherever we are on the spectrum, we got to make sure that we are doing the right thing. That's what it's about, and that's what's any organization when people want to do the right thing. If it's some under the table stuff and there's some handshake and some nods and some winks and all that, that stuff. It's going to come out and it's going to affect the organization. But when everybody focus on what it's supposed to be, then you have people writing letters trying to do whatever they wanted to do with a letter or feel the need to do that. They can just flow and stuff like that. So no, that's pretty good. Any other? Somebody else had a hand? You had your hand up, Reggie? Earlier? Okay. So no, that's a great, and I like real examples like that we can explore. So this is very this suffering, right? Matter of fact, we can. I guess I'll probably. Actually, I think this will help us a little bit. I might be able to finish. So the next point is the priority and power of the name of Jesus. All right. So now we're on verse 9. For this reason also. So it kind of connects some of the things we talked about. The torturous suffering was not a moment of loss of control from God. Some people miss it, right? Why is that? Why did he get whipped? God ain't God, and he ain't on the throne. And it was not, right? Saints, it was intensive, but it was intentional and sacrificial for everyone willing to submit, surrender, and sometimes suffer. Now, again, I can get back. I know we're gonna stop here soon, but we can. And that we're talking about really that submit and surrender, or the lack of submitting and surrender. Again, that's what it's all about. There is a point for every aspect. There are some things that happen in every aspect of our lives. Some are tougher than others. Some may be more difficult, but things happen, and how do we handle those things? If you're like me, you look back, you're like, man, that didn't go so well, or man, I did okay there. Again, we got to look back, but again, like I used that hurdle example, what are we doing moving forward? Will we get better next time? Is Satan beating us up with the same thing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let's end there. We got 3 minutes. Is that good? Let's talk. It's not. I want us to talk together, right? If we notice that Satan is getting us on the same thing, what should we do? What should we do? Because it don't have to be. You know. So if we say, or if we, because we're not going to say that Christians, a decent Christian is not going to say it should be this way. If we act as if that has to happen, we are saying that what God pushes doesn't have more significance than when Satan is pushing. Satan is the one that wants to catch us on that same thing, right? If rebellion is our thing, if disobedience is our thing, if dishonesty is our thing, is cheating and stealing and pornography and gambling, whatever. If this is our thing, we got to understand, what does God has to say about it? Who are we listening to? And those are the easy ones, but there's some other stuff that we find ourselves. Some things is tough to talk about, or some things are not. They're small things. We just feel certain kinds of way. I mean, why are we giving this to him? With everything we talked about Jesus went through, Jesus didn't go through all of that for us to not hit the hurdle. He went through it. He went through it so we can go through every situation the best way possible. I want us to think about it. Let's again, we don't need to make it long, but next time let's explore that a little more. I mean, I know we have to go, but if we can acknowledge, I like the honesty, and even just in Christian, it doesn't mean that we're doing it, but if we can acknowledge that, we that is something that we want to work through or help people work through, right? We want to help people work through. I'm gonna give this is a bad example. I was in Kentucky. I was driving. I was on 65, and it had the lights. We almost had. We'll say this now. Go ahead. The police came out. License, registration, and I'm a soldier. Man, he took off his glasses and said, "Well, you should know better."
You try to get over.
I did. He said, "You should know better." I didn't say nothing else. And then after that, when they come, we should know better.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we say, of course, I ain't giving the devil no, but some things are us. Some things are us.
That's a fact.
It ain't the devil or God, it's us.
Let me say this right quick. I do agree that's our that's our free will. However, when you boil it down, it all comes back to sin. Right. I'm talking with you, but again, it's nobody making us. We do it. Yeah. So I'm with you. Okay. Y'all say you said we're not gonna go over and. I want us to think about that though. Let's please take a note. Let's talk. Let's talk about that, man. Even if we shift, let's talk about how can we stop letting the same thing get us. Let's really talk about that. If that's all we talk about next time, I'm okay with it, because that is something and it ain't no pointing no fingers. All about that's something we all deal with. We want to get better at that, all right? All right. So thank you all so much. I'm looking forward to the baptism. I'm on Sunday, and again, we'll share more announcements. Please watch our page and listen to our announcements. We got a mental health focus in September. We got a lot of good things going on, a lot of opportunities. We have organizations going to come and share, and we do have some of the topics are going to help. It's different than what they're going to present, but we're going to give some tips. Matter of fact, I'll give you the series. Habits of Hope. That's going to be the series for September. We're going to take a little pause from I like going through the books, but it's going to be habits of hope. We're going to talk about some things that help us deal with those difficulties in mental health, the difficulties in suicide ideation, the difficulties in substance abuse. We're going to talk about habits of hope. Okay, so
Is this going to be during service or after service?
this is going to be during service, and it's not. We're going to shape it. We're not going to be here a long time. It's going to be the normal around the same time of service. Okay. All right. So thank God for each other. Sister Owens, can you pray for us, please?
See, that's because I said something. Father God, we come thanking you and praising you. Lord, we thank you for your mercy and your grace. We thank you, Lord, for another day to try to get it right. Father God, we pray that when we get home, everything is decent and in order. Lord, we want to thank you for the message that we received. In Jesus' name, amen.
I got the order. Can I read it?
You want to do it?
Yeah, I'm